guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm finally back with another episode of Company of Heroes. We are coming into the last few rounds. We're going to see if I can finally scrounge up some victory points, maybe make this a least close match. Before we get started, I wanted to show you guys something that they actually released here recently, and that would be the Company of Heroes app. So you guys can see this just went out. If you've got the game on Kickstarter, they should have sent you a link to this, but this controls the solitaire basically. Now, unfortunately, it really wouldn't work for my game since I'm doing two AIs, and they don't really have it set up for that. I don't think they really had two AIs in mind. Gimpy wasn't who they were thinking of as the solo audience, I guess. But, oh, and you do have a couple options. You can cut off music or sound effects, just depending. And to cut off the music because it was rather loud. But has all the commanders listed down, plus this extra one, Maybach's Menace scenario, which is kind of crazy looking. But just as an example, you can see we click on easy, feeble, and bam, it pops up, shows you what the spawn is, what phase, and then full screen. What's full screen on this? Oh, here we go. I just had to scroll down a little bit. Win condition, 10 points. And then we've got our arrows, but it shows us who to spawn, right? Then we click our next arrow. It shows us the action card that was drawn, right? So you know what's going on. And then you hit the next one, and then you hit the next one. So it draws 3 for you. And then it pops up with the little chart here, right? So really cool stuff. It shows like everything you need right here in the app. And then you hit next and it goes right there to the next round. Shows you what enemy unit pops up, keeps track of your round, all that good stuff. Now we can see that this is a different scenario, right? So this wasn't included in the box. Place a veteran Panzer IV on the top of the red units pile. Players start with their first 2 buildings unlocked. The first veteran Panzer IV that the players destroy awards 4 victory points. So then we start and bam, look at that. Look how much starts out. I mean, a lot of stuff. And same thing, pops around, shows you all the good stuff, and then shows you more units that are spawning. And this one goes into advanced rather quickly, spawning out a lot of tanks and a lot of hard units. So this looks like it'd be a fun one to play through. I kind of wish this had been out and available when I started this little solo scenario. A lot of units popping out. But the cool thing is this takes away everything except for the disc, right? Except for the solo discs that are on the board representing the units. And then occasionally, you know, the actual miniatures are coming on the board. So with something like this, they can expand the solitaire game without actually having to produce a physical component. They can do it all digitally, which when it comes to video games, or not video games, or other board games, some people are either pro or against that. I'm pro personally. I like apps for video, or I keep saying video games because I'm talking about apps. For board games like the Descent board game, I love the app for it. Gave a great randomization. Allowed that game to be played without a dungeon master character, right? You could play it fully cooperative or solo, have a really great experience. And I think apps are gonna, you know, give board games that ability. I really like that. And one of my complaints with the solitaire here for this game was the fact that it doesn't have as much replayability, because once you've played through an enemy commander a few times, you know what's going to happen, and you know generally what the cards are going to tell it to do, so you can't really have a fresh game. With this, they will have the ability to kind of give you that fresh game. I'm interested to see how they go with it. If they do try to expand upon the app, show us a few more things, we'll just have to see how that pans out. You guys let me know down in the comments what you think. All right, so we're jumping back in. Both sides just got enemy tanks put out for them, so bad stuff for me. I do have control of that victory point up there, though, so I finally have those going in. And that enemy unit right there that's kind of blending in, he's still pinned. He's going to stay pinned. I'm not going to move those machine gunners. because they're just too damn good where they're at. So I think I'm going to make like judgment calls for the AI as far as pulling enemy units back off the line to get them to where they're no longer pinned. There's some type of option, maybe, because if they stay there, they're just going to get chewed up and die, right? So they need to have a tank or something come in and do some damage before they push forward anymore. We're going to go ahead and run it though. And I am going to take and skip the part where we do the maneuver phase. You guys have seen so much, and I know the combat phase is the big phase that people want to see. So we're going to take and snap our fingers and get to the next part. And just like that, our situation has changed a little bit. Let's take and get ready for our damage phase. All right, so over here, I moved the armored car up because I was racing up trying to get control of this bridge. Armored car raced up, used his extra little boost of speed. They had a green unit that took and moved around here. Sorry, I had to take a break there for a sec. I was wondering what the hell that noise was. My damn dog was having a bad dream. So I had to go wake him up. Sorry, buddy. They had an MG42 team that moved up over here to kind of keep control of this victory point. It's actually not too scary for me because it's just anti-infantry weapon, so not horribly damaging to them. Now, the thing of it is the armored car does get a shield, but it's not impervious, right? So it's potentially going to take damage from that, so that could hurt them. But we got something else going on over here on the left too. So they had some units that moved up. I went ahead and pulled back those infantry that were right there because otherwise they're just going to sit there and get destroyed. And my big thing right now is I want to keep control of this victory point. I went ahead and put out some extra sandbags just for some extra protection for those guys for any direction the enemies might come. Enemy tank moved up, but it is not in range yet, so I don't have to worry about him. But that mortar team, there was a little bit of movement left, and they moved up, so they've got range as well on him. Now, here's the thing. I can get range on him with this infantry and this mortar if I spend the munitions. And I don't really want to spend the munitions, but I don't want that mortar team just sitting in the back plinking, because if I don't spend the munitions, then he's just going to keep dropping mortars. So there's no reason for him to move up. And yeah, I've got a couple of defenses from the sandbags, but depending on what comes through on that tank and the fact that things went very, very badly for the Russians, which I'll show you guys here in just a sec, I want to try to keep these guys alive so they're holding that as much as possible. So we're going to, yeah, I hate it, but we're going to spend the 2 munitions to give myself the extra range and sight needed so these guys can see. The machine gun team does not have the range, unfortunately. They're going to be 1 short, but the mortars are going to have it because that makes it to where they can reach out up to 5. So for enemy fire, let's arc this just a little bit. They are going to be dropping in some fire on me, some explosives, right? We'll put that right there. But on them, I'm going to be putting out an anti-infantry, which I'm not even going to bother to put that out. We already know what that's going to be. That's 1 damage cube. They've got no defense against it. And I have my own explosive die coming in from my mortars from my longer reach. So that's going to work out really well. Unfortunately, my Sherman tank's even 1 too far away. If my Sherman and my Wolverine were flipped, the Wolverine would actually be able to reach them because he has a farther range. He has a range of 3 instead of the 2 of the Sherman. You see, a little bit longer distance, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use that on this one. All right, so let's figure out how much is going towards my guys. Hopefully, this is going to be a red. I really need a red here. Okay, so I effectively have, well, I got 2 shields, but I think I only get to roll this once anyway. It's 1 potential damage. So anything besides a red will block it. So hopefully no red this time. And of course, son of a biscuit eater mother pudger. Damn it, I'm trying to make these guys last. And they finally get a little plink away on them. Damn, I do not want them getting hurt. And I was thinking about buying a Jeep on this round to do some stuff. I want to keep those guys going. Maybe I'll switch them out with a machine gun team later. We'll see. All right. Well, that takes care of that. Let's roll for this. Hopefully now I want a green, because a green means they could, or actually green means they're dead. And I get an experience point because I caused a little damage. Oh, just one. Damn. Okay. Mortar team is almost done for. And I do get an extra experience point, which means I am 1 experience point away from my Pershing. But can I destroy these guys? Which I think I can, which would get me my Pershing, because I get 2 automatics. Right? So let's set it out. 2 automatics and my bonus explosive. And the only thing they have to put on me is a single anti-infantry. We'll go ahead and pull these 2 off. So that's 2 more damage. Now, let's roll. Come on. No red, baby. No red. And I've got my Pershing. Okay, I'm calling that as cocked. You guys can see it. It's cocked. It was going red, but it cocked on me. Oh, good. X-Wing rules coming in my favor. Please, no red. What are the damn odds that I would roll fire twice? Son of a... Damn it. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so 1 potential damage going through. I roll it. I just don't want a red. 4 damage against my armored vehicle. You gotta be kidding me. Damn, they're just chewing me up here. This is not been my damn round. Oh, I took damage everywhere. I mean, I'm holding through fine, but this armored car doesn't have a whole lot of health, and I want him to stick around. They should have died. The mortar team should have died. My armored car shouldn't have taken any damage, and my guys shouldn't have taken any. I mean, I had it as best as I could, and sometimes the dice gods just tell you, nope, it's not going to happen. And even with a reroll, because the cocked, it still didn't go in my favor. All right, let's go over there and show you guys what happened to the Soviets, because it was not good. All right, so hold on, let me figure a good spot to put this camera, because we got a lot of stuff going on here. Now, I left this tank on the board just to show you what popped up as an event: anti-vehicle mines. And they hit my T-70. So, I mean, I wouldn't want them to hit any of my tanks, but that just sucked. And that event triggers before the damage phase. So, I mean, that's just it. They blew him out. And that is some kind of unfortunate. So, damn. I mean, just damn. I did not want that to happen. But it did. All right, so the IS-2 is back here, but unfortunately he didn't get in range. I brought him up as quick as I could. I brought these fellas around because I want to move them up so they can gain that one, but they're not going to be able to do that to the next one. The tank was there to kind of hold back the enemy forces that were coming in. So now the only ones who have range to do anything are my T-34 here, who's got his arc covering all of these guys. So, I mean, I can shoot whoever I want. But these fellas have a couple of damage already on them, but they're going to have a lot of innate shielding because of the building. I mean, and they've got, they're both veteran grenadiers. Damn, that's right. Okay. So, thing is they have explosives, which they do. They're anti-infantry, right? So you guys, I'll throw it in the corner so you can see it. But their anti-infantry is not in range to damage anyone. They could only hurt my infantry over here. They're not going to be able to do anything with it. So I don't have to worry about that. But they do have 2 explosive dice that they can drop on him, right? Which can potentially cause damage. So this is not good. But he gets 1 innate defense, I believe, against explosive. Let me take a look. Yes, against explosives, he does get innate defense die. So I get one roll. As long as they're not criticals, I should be okay. We'll have to see how this goes. But now I need to decide where I'm going to put my firepower, which is 2 anti-armor and 1 anti-infantry. I've got them all in arc, both of these guys in arc. He'd be getting a defense die, he'd be getting a defense die. Well, the thing is I might as well put it over this one where he's already damaged. He'd only be getting 1 defense die, but I could try to go ahead and finish him off because he's going to get a defensive roll against everything. He would get a defensive roll effectively against everything as well because he has 1 shielding. He already gets a shield roll against the armor piercing, right? So you see green right here, shield versus armor piercing. So either one's going to roll defensively against all my shots. So that's right. Yep. I should put a shot at this guy because he's going to roll defensively, and I just need 2 of these to go through. I need him to roll 2 red dice, and that'll do me. All right, so there we go. Got that set. Let me go ahead and roll for him, see if I can hopefully kill this guy off. I'm not overly concerned about getting experience points now because I've got my big boys, and the next level up only gives me the ability to damage buildings with armor-piercing shots, and I'm really not that concerned over here. It might matter on that side, but yeah. All right, come on. I need 2 red dice. 2 red dice. 1 red dice. Damn, plinking at him. Plinking, and I'm just not getting there. All right, he fired everything into the building and didn't get there. All right, so 1 health left on that mofo, which does get me another experience point. That's good. All right, so now I've got to do these 2. We'll go ahead and roll these 2 explosives together. I'm hoping both of these are red. I need red a lot over here. If they're both red, no damage, that'd be good. Or if they're at least black, I can deal with black as well. Just no green. Red and a black. Okay, that's about as good as I could hope for. So no damage from 1. And now we're rolling this, and as long as it's not a red, he takes no damage. All right, come on. No red. I already got whammied on the left side. Don't whammy me again. Perfect. Green. I'm good. Yes. All right. T-34 withstood the explosions. No damage. That's good. That means on my next round, I can push up with my infantry and finally try to take this. But that's only going to give me 1 round to try to get it. Yeah, I've gotten beat down like hell. Not to mention, before this guy died, he exposed a Panzer IV that was moving up. That's this unit over here. He doesn't have a reveal ability, so I didn't even worry about flipping him back over. But damn, I mean, that just sucked horribly. I could not believe it when I flipped that counter and it was this. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And of course, technically, I think it was more than 1 unit that was revealing him. I can't remember specifically. It might have just been the T-70 saw him first, but end of his movement, I mean, everyone was seeing him anyway. And I was like, okay, well, even if I do it that way, if I go by reading order, it's going to hit the T-70 first. So effectively, he hit a mine that blew him apart. I was like, son of a bitch, you got to be kidding me. And I was thinking about it mathematically. There's really no point in me trying to buy another big tank because there's not that many rounds left in the game. So by the time I save enough money to get the tank and get the tank up into action, what's he going to do? I mean, the game's going to be over at that point. So it's really kind of cheap units at this point. All right, so since we're at the end of the damage phase, we'll get into the supply phase. Not a whole lot going over here for the Soviets for the supply phase. They just got their regular stuff because they still have yet to capture an actual victory control point. So I figured I am going big or going home now since we're getting towards the end of the game, and I am spending like everything I got to get these guys. Let's see, that leaves me 1. Yeah, that leaves me barely any resources left. But we are going to pop out a couple of these. And what are these? SU-76. SU-76. And one of them is getting an upgrade because I can't afford it on both. Put in my there. If I can, nope, that doesn't go there. We'll put it there. Perfect. And these guys are pretty sweet. Sick. Look at that. For one, this mobile gun carriage. Pretty much it's artillery. Let me lift this up and I'll show you guys what these guys do because it's freaking awesome. As you guys can see, the shots are explosive. They are directional, so I got to have them in that front arc, right? Depending on what direction they're facing, but up to a range of 3. And explosives can either do really good or really bad. Plus, these things are relatively cheap at 2 and 2. I was like, hell yeah, I can afford a couple of them. Bring them in, race them up, see if I can blow out the enemy, cause some damage, do something. And at least one of them has 3 health instead of 2. This one's only got 2 health, which means it'll go down as easy as a light tank. But that's going to be it for them. The mobile commander on the other side, pretty much same thing as the easy commander as far as what they deploy. The next round, they're going to be adding 1 green unit to the board. So nothing major. Let's take a look at the Americans. All right, so to try something out a little different for the Americans, I'm going to get the Major, which if you guys can see this, bring him up. You can see he's got his little binoculars there, paying attention, seeing what's going on. He has 3 health, so a couple squatties there with him. I would have liked to have gotten that, but I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't afford it. I need to save it for the extra range. But actually, do I get him that bonus, the experience bonus, or do I save it for the Pershing? I think I save it for the Pershing. Damn, I don't know. That'll give him an extra unit of sight so he can see just a little bit farther. You know what? I'm going to spend the 1 experience point on him. I think I can get a couple of experience points on the next go around and not be too hurt. So we'll spend the experience point and we'll give him the bonus. That way this guy can capture, he can move up, do something. I've got to have another green unit to go after up over there to try to get the bridge for its victory point value. I've got to get some more victory points. And the mortars and the machine guns here are doing such a good job keeping the enemy back, right? And they've got tank support. I've got the armored car over there to help them. So I'm thinking I'll just send the Major on an end run. Actually, I'll spawn him there instead, right here in his little spawn area. That way I can send him pushing in that direction, maybe get him there in time to do something, potentially capture that zone while the rest of the units and the tanks hold this. I think I kind of made the mistake of playing this game like I played the video game. And when I played the video game, I was always very slow, very methodical, capture points around me, and then just build up my forces as much as I could. And then once I had an overwhelming mass of firepower, then move out kind of like the Blob and just wipe out everything in front of me. That was always my goal. It worked well. And this, it would have worked well, but I'm on a time limit. And running out of time means I'm not going to have enough victory points. Now, if we were counting victory points from killing units like they do in the competitive game, I think I would have been close. But it just doesn't work that way in a solitaire game. Now, I could do it that way just to change it up. It is your game. You can make it easier or harder on yourself, just depending, you know, have fun with it. All right, but that's going to be the end of this one. We're done with our supply phase. They are also, the feeble commander in front of me is getting another green unit. And after that, each side's only getting a yellow unit. So they're not getting that much. Honestly, I really should be pushing harder than I am. But I've got control of this victory point here. I've almost got control of the one over there on the bridge. The Soviets have gotten busted up pretty good because they just keep having bad luck. So it's not that I don't have control of the areas that I want to have control of. I just haven't got control of them as quickly as I should have. And yeah, that was kind of on me. I think I waited too long. But yeah, after this next round, we'll have one more round and then it'll be defeat or victory. You guys stay tuned and see what happens. Y'all take care. I'll see you in the next one.